交通機関なんから今日も JR 北海道ご利用くださいましてありがとうございます。終着札幌降り口右側で3番線到着です。
Including Hitaka and Suica cannot be used beyond Hokkaido Station. Please purchase a ticket for destination after Hokkaido.
Alright, last day in Otaru, and basically tomorrow I fly to Taiwan. So man, I'm gonna be a little sad leaving here. This place is magical. This entire experience has been magical, but ending it in a place like Otaru, I mean, I came to see these two rocks sticking out of the ocean, but everywhere you're walking, I'm pretty sure those are fox trails on a snowy beach where in the distance you can see the western peninsula of Hokkaido, which you keep going west and you're in Russia. So yeah, this place is beautiful. I'm gonna be so sad. I'm excited for Taiwan. I think Taiwan's gonna be great, but I don't know. Is it gonna be like this? We'll see. But anyways, yeah, last night was a lot of fun learning about the culture here. Pretty eye-opening, and I'm definitely gonna be back in April. I'm gonna see Sakura, I'm gonna see Okinawa, a lot of places that I didn't know about that I feel like I'm missing out on. But Japan has been a real treat. Hope you enjoyed my 40 days in Japan, all the exciting things that I've been able to see, and you know, I recommend over pretty much everywhere, even over Thailand, really. I want to come back here, and I would love to spend a longer period of time here too. You know, if I was going to pick a place to stay, it would probably be Sapporo, just because Sapporo is such an upscale city, and it's so neat and clean, and all the restaurants, every place looks like almost like I'm in New York or someplace like that. And the prices are less than Tokyo, which are already low to begin with. But man, there's so much to this country, the culture, and like look at this. There's a beach. I'm gonna go to one in a second that's a little bit better. But this beach, water, snow, and then look at these two rocks right there. How picturesque is that? The mountains in the background, Western Peninsula in the background. And again, I want to reiterate, since I've been in Japan and taking advice from the locals, like this is supposed to be the high season in Japan, and especially Hokkaido, because this is like a snow destination. But I am the only person here on this beach, except for one squid fisherman. There was a guy fishing for squid, but besides that, it's just me. I don't really know any other place in the world where you can see something like this and be alone. I don't know. I'm constantly surprised around every corner being here in Japan, in a country that doesn't really speak English, and be so welcome here. So I'm gonna take a couple pictures, then I'm gonna head over to a beach that has more snow on it, and then I'm gonna head to a distillery, and then I'm gonna go back to Otaru, eat some more sushi, and head to Sapporo and get ready for my flight tomorrow. Gonna be so sad, but hopefully you enjoy this 40 days in Japan. So one of my dreams is to go to a beach covered in snow, and a nice one too, because I know I've been to a couple so far, and I found one. Unfortunately, the snow is actually so thick that I can barely make it out without falling or getting snow into my socks. You're just gonna have to live with these drone shots that I just took. I feel like it's a mission accomplished. I'm so stoked to have seen this, especially before the sunsets, because the sunset's early here in northern Japan before 4 o'clock. But this is a struggle. I'm getting snow on my shoes. All right, on to the next one. One of the main attractions out in this part of Hokkaido is Nikka whiskey. So this is a Japanese whiskey, but it's very similar to Scotch because for the most part, it's a single malt whiskey and it's aged in new oak barrels. What makes this distillery so interesting is it's been around for almost 100 years. And back in the early 1900s, the owner went to Scotland to train under some of the master distillers to learn the whole process on how to distill and age single malt whiskey. I definitely really like single malt whiskey, and being able to try some of the Japanese types was pretty awesome. Another awesome thing about Otaru is this is called the sushi town. So I was on a mission to find the best sushi in Japan. I'm not going to lie to you when I say this. This was hands down the best sushi I had my entire time in Japan. And I guess technically that means this is the best sushi I've ever had in my life, because the sushi in Japan is just so great. And this is just one of the restaurants that I saw walking back from the distillery. It was the first one that I could find that didn't need a reservation. It's really hard for me to explain how sushi could be so good since it's just a few simple ingredients, but it just was. I apologize if you were looking for a food review right there, but that's what Mark Wiens is for. I'm just here to try new things, and one of the downsides about sushi is it doesn't fill me up as much as some other foods, so obviously I had to eat again immediately after. Sadly, my time in Otaru was over, and it was time to head over to Sapporo, which is one of the major cities in Japan and the largest city up in Hokkaido. And one of the first things that I found in Sapporo was this aquarium. And this isn't a normal aquarium. This is a mix of a co-working space, a research center, and an art-based aquarium. So this was actually way more interesting than I would expect. The unique thing about this aquarium is every time you turn a corner or walk into a new room, you see people working, and I don't know what they're working on in particular, but they seem busy. The aquarium was also split into sections and floors, and each one of them focused on a specific aspect of biology. The animals were organized based on different stages of micro and macro evolution, and they had a lot of fish that were in the lungfish and walking fish and terrestrial fish categories, and they also had a room full of eels and a room full of anything that's flat, and it went from flat turtles, flat frogs to flat fish. And if you know anything about me, you know I love fish, and I keep fish, I like to catch fish, eat fish, do everything with fish, and there were so many species in here that I've never seen before, and that just really left an impression on me that they did a great job here. I really liked Sapporo. Of all the cities that I spent time in here in Japan, and there were a lot, this stood out to me as one of the most upscale and livable places in Japan. And it was very populated. There are a lot of people there, but you just have this endless expanse of parks. There were frozen lakes, underground train stations, and just really interesting things that make you feel like you're not in a big city. One of the things I noticed about Sapporo and pretty much all the other Japanese cities I went to is they're very populated and they're very quiet, and I finally figured out why. So they have a lot of underground tunnels and walkways, and in these are restaurants and hotels and malls, and it just keeps the streets nice, clean, and empty. I hope you enjoyed following along with some of the highlights of my time in Japan. I really love this country. I want to move here one day and experience more of it, but I know I'll be back, and hopefully you can add this to your travel calendar one day. I definitely recommend it, going all the way south to all the way north and really seeing the different climates and different people of Japan.
Yeah. Me? you. Yeah, me? You. Yeah. Funny Japanese. Yeah. YouTuber. Yeah. YouTuber. Yeah. YouTuber. Liar. YouTuber.
Oh, who's a liar?
Yeah. American joke.
It's a
joke.
Okay, I got it.